Most people get this wrong when they try to start a company in Paraguay. They think it is just about filling a form, opening a bank account, and launching a business. But here's the truth no one tells you. The real process is not just about registration. It is about choosing the right structure, understanding local rules, and avoiding small legal mistakes that can quietly block your business later. And if you miss even one step, you could end up with delays, tax problems, or a company that cannot operate internationally the way you planned. Now, here's the interesting part. Paraguay is actually one of the most underrated places in South America to start a business. It has relatively low corporate taxes, a simple company registration system compared to many countries in the region, and flexible structures for foreign entrepreneurs. But most beginners don't know how to use the system properly. In this video, you are going to learn exactly how to start a company in Paraguay step by step in 2026. No legal jargon. No confusion. Just a clear roadmap from idea to fully registered company. And in a minute, I'll also show you the biggest mistake foreigners make when choosing a company type in Paraguay, which can completely change your taxes and legal responsibilities. Let's start right away. To begin with, you need to understand the basic types of companies in Paraguay. This is where most people fail. They rush into registration without choosing the correct legal structure. The two most common options are an SRL, which is similar to a limited liability company, and an SA, which is closer to a corporation. There are also sole proprietorship options, but those are usually not ideal for foreign investors who want protection and scalability. Now here's the key idea. If you are a small business owner, freelancer, or starting a service company, the SRL structure is usually the most practical. It requires fewer shareholders and has simpler management rules. But if you are planning to raise investment, bring in partners, or scale internationally, then the SA structure might be better. But here's where it gets interesting. Many foreigners pick the SA structure thinking it looks more professional, but they don't realize it comes with more compliance requirements, stricter reporting, and higher administrative costs. So choosing wrong here can cost you time and money every single year. Once you understand the structure, the next step is choosing a company name. This sounds simple, but in Paraguay, it has to be unique and approved by the public registry. You cannot just pick any name and assume it will be accepted. The name must be checked against existing registered companies. Let's say Alex from the US wants to start a digital marketing agency called Blue Wave Media Paraguay. Before anything else, that name must be verified and reserved. If it is already taken or too similar to another company, it will be rejected, and you will need to restart the process. Now here's a small but important tip. Always prepare at least 3 name options. Because delays often happen at this stage when people only submit one idea and get rejected. After the name, the next step is drafting the company's legal documents. This includes the company bylaws, ownership structure, and business purpose. This is where many beginners get overwhelmed, but let's simplify it. Think of bylaws as the rule book for your company. It explains who owns what percentage, how decisions are made, how profits are distributed, and what happens if a partner leaves. In Paraguay, these documents must be prepared in Spanish, and usually require a local legal professional or notary. Now here's the problem most people don't expect. Even if you fully own the company, the wording of your bylaws can still affect control and decision-making power. So if you are not careful, you might technically own the company but still need approval for key actions. That's why many entrepreneurs like Jake, who moved from Canada to start a logistics company in Asuncion, hire a local lawyer just for the drafting stage. It prevents future conflicts and ensures compliance. Once your documents are ready, the next step is notarization. This is a mandatory legal process in Paraguay. A notary public verifies your documents and officially certifies them. Without this step, your company cannot move forward to registration. But here's where it gets interesting. In Paraguay, notarization is not just a formality. It is a legal validation step that confirms your company structure is acceptable under national law. So if anything is missing or incorrectly written, the notary will send it back for corrections. After notarization, your documents go to the Public Registry of Commerce. This is the official government body that records and approves new companies. Once approved, your company becomes legally recognized. Now let's pause for a second because this is where timing becomes important. Registration in Paraguay can take anywhere from a few days to a few weeks, depending on document accuracy and workload. Most delays happen because of incomplete paperwork, not because the system is slow. Now here's a simple strategy to avoid delays. Before submitting, double-check your documents with a local expert or legal advisor. This small step alone can save you weeks of waiting. Once your company is registered, you receive your official company identification number. This is similar to a tax ID. Without it, you cannot open a bank account or issue invoices. And speaking of bank accounts, this is the next major step. Opening a corporate bank account in Paraguay can be more complex than registration itself. Banks require proof of company formation, identification documents, and sometimes proof of business activity. Let's take an example. Imagine John from the UK wants to open a consulting firm in Paraguay. Even after registering his company, he still needs to show banks how his business will operate. This may include contracts, client information, or projected revenue. Now here's the part most people underestimate. Different banks have different requirements. Some are more flexible with foreign-owned companies, while others are stricter. So choosing the right bank matters just as much as choosing the company structure. In a minute, I'll explain how to improve your chances of bank approval on the first try, because this is one of the most common failure points for new business owners in Paraguay. After banking, the next step is tax registration. Every company in Paraguay must register with the tax authority known as SET. This determines your tax obligations, reporting schedule, and compliance requirements. The good news is that Paraguay has a relatively straightforward tax system compared to many countries. Corporate tax rates are generally low, and there are simplified regimes for small businesses. But here's the catch. You must choose the correct tax category from the beginning. If you choose incorrectly, you may end up overpaying taxes or facing penalties for incorrect filings. So this is not a step to rush. Now let's talk about something most guides ignore. Hiring employees or contractors in Paraguay. If you plan to expand your business, you need to understand labor registration rules. Employees must be officially registered, and social security contributions are required. This is important because informal hiring can lead to penalties. Even if you are a small startup, compliance matters. Now here's where things get more strategic. Many foreign entrepreneurs also explore residency options in Paraguay while running their company. Paraguay offers relatively simple residency pathways compared to other countries in the region. If you are planning to live in Paraguay while managing your business, combining company formation with residency planning can simplify your long-term setup. But each process is separate and must be handled correctly. Now let's talk about costs, because this is something everyone wants to know. Starting a company in Paraguay is generally more affordable than in North America or Western Europe. But costs vary depending on legal help, company structure, and banking setup. The biggest expenses usually come from legal services, not government fees. Government registration fees are relatively low, but professional assistance ensures everything is done correctly the first time. Now, here's a practical example. A digital entrepreneur like Alex might spend most of his budget on legal setup and banking assistance, while keeping government costs minimal. But skipping professional help can actually cost more in the long run if mistakes happen. At this point, your company is fully established. But here's the truth most people miss. Registration is just the beginning. The real success comes from maintaining compliance, filing taxes properly, and structuring your operations efficiently. Now let's summarize the key takeaways so everything is clear. First, choosing the right company structure in Paraguay is critical because it affects taxes and control. Second, name registration must be carefully planned with backup options. Third, legal documents must be precise and properly notarized. Fourth, bank account approval requires preparation and documentation. Fifth, tax registration determines your long-term compliance obligations. If you follow these steps correctly, you can successfully start and operate a company in Paraguay without unnecessary delays or legal issues. And here's the final insight. Paraguay is not just a low-cost incorporation destination. It can be a strategic base for business expansion in South America if you set it up correctly from the beginning. Now if you found this guide helpful, Make sure to like the video, leave a comment with your questions, and subscribe for more step-by-step business setup guides like this. Because the more you understand these systems, the easier it becomes to build and scale your business globally.